Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, a very big welcome to you all. Today I have another great, quick, and easy keto meal for you guys. Today I'm going to teach you how to make keto Swedish meatballs. Now, for those of you who don't know the difference between a traditional meatball and a Swedish meatball, it's very simple. A traditional Italian meatball is usually made in a tangy tomato-based marinara type sauce, whereas a Swedish meatball is traditionally made in a creamy, almost gravy-like sauce that is generally made with some kind of a broth and some kind of a cream. It is really easy and very, very delicious. And once you learn how to make the meatball part, you can use these meatballs for any recipe that calls for meatballs. Whether it's spaghetti and meatballs, sweet and sour meatballs, any type of recipe that needs meatballs, you can use this meatball recipe. You can also double the meatball recipe and put some in the freezer. That way you can always have meatballs on hand anytime you need them. You just pull them out of the freezer, pop them in whatever you're wanting to make, and voila, instant meatballs. And if you're wanting printable versions of this, you can check out my website, janetsdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find printable versions of this and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click that notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out a new video. And if you'd like to help to support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of this video. You'll see some Amazon affiliate links. Anytime you click on that link and purchase something from those Amazon affiliate links, a small portion will go to me, which will help to support the channel. So even if you don't want the item that it routes you to, you can go up to the Amazon search bar, type in whatever you want, whatever you purchase, as long as you're using my affiliate link, a portion will go to me, which will help to support the channel. And while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Line a large baking sheet with foil and lightly spray the foil with cooking spray so that your meatballs don't stick to the baking sheet. In a large bowl, place 1 pound of lean ground beef or ground meat of your choice. Use a wooden spoon and chop the meat into small pieces, that way it's easier to stir. Add 1 large egg and stir to completely coat all of the meat with the egg. Make sure all of the meat is coated because the egg is what helps hold your meatballs together. Add 2 tablespoons of the milk of your choice. And again, stir the milk into the meat so that your meat is nice and moist. It should be a little on the sticky side. Add a half teaspoon of onion powder, a half teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of garlic powder. Add a half teaspoon of black pepper. Fold the seasonings into the meat until all of the seasoning is fully combined and evenly distributed throughout the meat. Gradually sprinkle in 3/4 cup of low-carb breadcrumbs or crushed pork rinds. I'm using a combination of both. You don't want to add it in all at once because that makes it too hard to evenly distribute the breadcrumbs or pork rinds, whichever one you're using. So sprinkle in a little bit, fold it in, then sprinkle in a little bit more, fold it in, sprinkle in a little bit more until the whole 3/4 cup of the low-carb breadcrumbs or crushed pork rinds is fully incorporated into the meat and evenly distributed throughout the meat. Once all the pork rinds and breadcrumbs have been distributed in the meat, massage the meat mixture in between your hands just to make sure that everything is evenly distributed and that the meat is going to stick together. Scoop out the meat mixture 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time and place it onto your prepared baking sheet. Now you can make your meatballs as big or as small as you want to. I use a cookie scoop, which is a little over 1 tablespoon, but I've made my meatballs as big as using an ice cream scoop before, which is about 4 tablespoons when I wanted giant meatballs. So, however big you want them is up to you, but a traditional size is about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Once the meatballs are all scooped out, roll each scoop in the center of your hand to make a tight ball. You want to make sure that the meatball is really tight because you don't want it falling apart. Once the meatballs are all formed, place them in your preheated oven. Bake them at 400 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes or until they're brown and no longer pink in the middle. For me, 18 minutes was perfect. But again, depending on how big or small you made your meatballs, you may need to adjust the time a little bit. While the meatballs are cooking, we're going to make our sauce. For the sauce, in a large skillet over medium heat, combine 1 cup of the broth of your choice. I'm using chicken broth, but beef broth, vegetable broth, bone broth, that all works great too. Add 1 cup of sour cream or coconut cream and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Whisk these all together until they're fully combined and smooth. Make sure it is as smooth as possible. You want a nice smooth sauce. Add a half teaspoon of black pepper, a half teaspoon of onion powder, a half teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half teaspoon of dry thyme or dry rosemary. Whisk these all together until they're fully combined and the seasonings are evenly distributed throughout the sauce. Sprinkle in a half teaspoon of xanthan gum, and you need this. This is what will help thicken your sauce. Make sure you just sprinkle it in. Xanthan gum can bunch together if it's dumped all in one spot of liquid. So make sure you just sprinkle it in over the sauce and whisk it in really well until the xanthan gum is fully combined and smooth. Bring the mixture to a low boil over medium heat. Once the mixture has come to a low boil, reduce the heat to medium-low and gently simmer the sauce for about 10 minutes or until it has thickened. Make sure you stir it occasionally so it doesn't scorch on the bottom. Once the sauce is thickened and the meatballs are all cooked, add the meatballs to the thickened sauce and stir to fully coat the meatballs. Once the meatballs are all coated, bring the mixture back up to a very low simmer, then reduce the heat to low and simmer for about 5 minutes more or just until the meatballs are completely heated and the flavors have set in. Once it's all done cooking, put your desired amount onto a serving platter. I like to serve this over either a rice substitute or zoodles, but you don't have to put it over anything. You can eat it just by itself, or you can put it over cauli rice, any type of rice substitute or any type of pasta substitute you want. You can also put this over my homemade pasta. I'll leave a link in the description to my homemade pasta. It's very quick, very easy, and this goes great over it. Either way, however you choose to eat it, eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.